Is Twitter going bankrupt and is this the end of Elon Musk? Well, if you were looking at the news, you'd absolutely say yes. There's a flurry of advertisers who continue to drop out of advertising on X's platform, which made up over 50% of its overall revenue, which is a big deal. Advertising dollars are how most social media outlets and platforms are able to survive and do so well, especially with targeted ads. As there's more and more companies deciding to boycott X over some of Elon's comments, it's definitely a pretty tricky situation for Elon Musk. But there are a few things that we have to consider. One, capitalism is different in the era of woke capitalism and woke economics. What do I mean by that? Elon Musk has a very good product. That product is Twitter. He immediately started getting rid of bots and making sure that users were more active and more verifiable. What does that mean? That means that ad dollars spent on Twitter are far more useful than ad dollars spent on, say, Facebook or Threads. How can I prove that? Well, simply by saying that there's less bots on Twitter. And that comes down to Elon pushing for there to be less bots on Twitter, which was part of the whole point of his verification model and process. So why does that play in and how is that important? Because if you think about it, ad dollars on Twitter are going to be more useful. So then why are these companies pulling out? Because it's not about the actual usefulness of ad dollars being spent when you have woke capitalism. Woke capitalism is inherently political. And what that means is politics is all about rewarding your friends and hurting your enemies. And if Elon Musk is not doing what the majority of companies like, and by doing, I mean simply saying and promoting different political ideologies that they don't like, they're going to pull their money, whether it's good for them or not. And that is what we are seeing right now. This is obviously very coordinated, which gives a rise to the question, by the way. If you remember when I first started this channel, I actually did a YouTube video on Mark Zuckerberg starting Threads. And in that video, I mentioned how Threads is actually kind of just a giant advertising grab. What I mean by that is Threads is meant to be a more secure or friendlier version of Twitter. Ergo, there's less free speech. But what Threads is really about is Zuckerberg knew that Elon Musk would in the future be losing advertising dollars. And those advertising dollars have to go somewhere. Marketing budgets will still remain the same regardless of whether people are advertising or Twitter or not. And so those companies will punish Elon Musk and reward Mark Zuckerberg just with their ad dollars, whether they are useful or not to the company. And that's a situation that Elon Musk finds himself in. If this were a classic free market capitalist argument, we would simply say that no, advertisers will never leave Twitter because it's such a useful platform, especially for news. But that's not the age that we live in today. Plenty of companies and institutions are willing to sacrifice what they view as usership and eyes to simply accomplish a political mission. Now, of course, a lot of this is a waiting game. If Elon Musk can just make it probably say 5 to 6 months, I'm sure a lot of this will blow over. He has done some things to try to make up for some of his faux pas on Twitter. That's one of the reasons why he was, of course, visiting Israel and meeting with Netanyahu to compensate for what appeared to be some of his anti Semitic remarks, at least according to the media. But all that to say is for a lot of these companies, it's not just about some of his remarks on Twitter. Elon Musk could potentially be a bigger threat to their business models in more than one way. Elon Musk, of course, has stated that he wants Twitter to be the platform where people go to do everything. Currently, he's trying to compete on the media side. So you can think of Twitter as a competitor to a Threads, an Instagram, a Facebook, a LinkedIn, and now they're trying to compete with Twitch. But if they add payment processing, you could also view Twitter as a competitor to things like Amazon, which, of course, Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos are already competing in space. So now Twitter could be a way to compete with Amazon if you are able to directly buy goods from Twitter accounts. That is most likely why someone like Walmart might also pull out. Besides Walmart being its own political behemoth and maybe not wanting to support Elon Musk, they could probably see the future of Twitter becoming just another Amazon platform, which would further steal revenue from Walmart. We all know that Walmart has tried to compete with Amazon and has not done so well with its online services. This could also go for the Visa and MasterCards of the world, who have also supposedly pulled their funding. Now, of course, I do think that them pulling their advertising dollars is strictly political. However, the argument can be made that if transactions are going over Twitter, they could definitely be in competition with some of these larger credit card companies, especially when it comes to payment information. So, all that to say is Elon Musk is definitely a dangerous individual, especially to the status quo, not just politically, but to the modern day businesses and oligopolies that currently make up America's quote unquote capitalist economy. Twitter has users. And once you have users, you can essentially do anything that you want. You can build any type of company to compete with any type of modern American industry if you have the users. Not only that, but he's got the verified users to prove it. And verification models on Facebook, Instagram, and Threads have not been able to keep up with Twitter's. So is Elon Musk going to go bankrupt? And is this the end of Twitter? I don't think so. If he can make it to the long term and maybe fund himself with his own money or with debt, which those will be part of the conversations, as he obviously took on a lot of debt to buy Twitter and did use a lot of his own money in that transaction. If he can just make it, I think Twitter's going to still become one of the most powerful platforms in the world. Maybe it takes a hit in the United States and maybe they go for ad dollars outside of the United States, which is a possibility and would not surprise me. In fact, with Twitter going international, looking for more international customers may already be a part of his strategic plan. However, regardless of what happens with Twitter, Elon Musk is not going to go away. And if he has one penchant for anything, it's with getting even. And if Twitter does shut down and go bankrupt, you can bet that Elon Musk is never going to let that go.